So let's write down what is the decision you want to make. What is it that you are wanting to decide on right now? So just a little reminder, a decision is just a commitment that you're making to taking action and to believing certain things. Okay. So when you make a choice, all you're saying is, I am going to commit to doing this and believing that I can do it, believing that this is right for me. Okay. So it is just your commitment level to what you decide ultimately. So what are you committed to do? Are you committed to leave the marriage or stay? What is it that you want to do? And commit commit to that, because that's where you build trust in yourself. That's where you get to decide what what you want is worth it and matters. Okay. So the decision, write down the decision that you want to make, whatever that is, whether it's to leave this relationship. If you're not married, you want to leave the relationship. Okay, what is the decision you want to make? To stay, um, to leave your job, maybe to go back to school, to maybe let your kids fail, right? Maybe it is kicking your kids out of the house, right? And sometimes there's decisions that you got to make. If they're that big, I know we are avoiding them. Or maybe it's changing your business or starting your business. Or maybe it's living your religion, the beliefs that you grew up with. Whatever that decision is, just know that you are committing yourself to take action and believe in this decision. Okay. Next, I want you to think about all the obstacles, all the challenges that you think are going to come up when you make this decision. So, if you choose to leave the marriage, what are the things that will come up? Well, if you choose to leave, some of the things that might come up is you're going to have to find a place to live. You're going to have to find a job that pays, or income, another source of income. You're going to have to find maybe therapy for your children, a support system, maybe move them out of school, find a support for yourself, find therapy for yourself. You might need to set up a budget. You might need to reach out for help. What are the obstacles? And some of the things that might help you to get the obstacles are, just ask yourself, so if I choose to leave, or actually, this is a better question, I don't want to leave because, and that will automatically lead you to all your beliefs, all your obstacles as to why you don't want to leave. Or if I don't want to leave, I don't want to stay because I'm afraid that if I leave, blank, and just start writing down. These are some questions that might get you to start thinking about the obstacles. If I stay in the marriage, I'm afraid that all will get stuck in the same cycles again. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose myself. I'm afraid that I I'm going to break down. I'm going to go into panic attacks again. I'm afraid that we're going to be fighting all the time. Like, what are the obstacles? What are the challenges that come up? I'm going to have to find a job, right? What is it that your brain is telling you that is causing you not to make this decision? Okay. So just write down everything that comes up, all the obstacles that are in your way of you making this decision. Okay. And once you do that, I want you to think about all the strategies. I want you to turn all those obstacles into strategies. This is where you get to think. So, if you choose to leave, How are you going to figure out a job, another income, a source of income? If you leave this relationship, let's say you're in a toxic relationship and you want to leave, okay, the obstacles are, I'm going to be tempted, right? He's going to write me and I'm going to want to come back. Okay, so what are the strategies that you want to put in place so you can actually overcome this obstacle, so you can follow through and stay committed to this decision? Okay. Think about what you might be tempted to believe when things get rough. What will your brain try to distract you with when it gets hard? I remember when I made the decision to leave my spouse, seeing him sad was something very difficult for me it made me question myself. But I had to go back to what I was committed to believe. I had to go back to my belief again. Once you know what decision you're going to make, okay, what is the belief that you need to have about that decision? For me, my statement was, when I made the decision to leave, my statement was, this is the right thing for me, or I deserve better. I want to have a different type of marriage. I want to have a happier marriage. Those are some of my beliefs that I had to tap into when I was seeing my ex going through difficult times, when he was sad because he didn't get to have the kids with him all the time, or because he missed me, or because he was lonely, right? So what are the beliefs that you need to have so you can stay committed to this decision that you make? And then, what do you think are the obstacles that are going to get in the way? And you can use this process to any decision you make, whether it's to start working out, to go back to school. Okay, what do you need to believe about going back to school, to start working out, about applying to a different job, right? You have to believe something about yourself or about the circumstance or about the other person so you can stay committed. Find that sentence that sounds good to you. When I decided to go back to my ex-husband and try things again, for me, my go-to sentence, my belief was, I know what's best for me. Nobody else knows what's best for me. This feels right to me. This is what's best for my family. So whenever my siblings or my parents or friends said anything about me going back to my ex and gave me their opinion about what was happening, all I had to do is go back to my belief and my commitment to the decision I made. Well, this feels right to me. This feels right to me. And it was a broken record. So that's why it's so important to, when you decide, find a sentence that the belief behind why you're making this decision. And then the next step is finding solutions for your obstacles. Because then it is so easy to go back to feeling miserable and staying stuck and going back to the relationship, going back to feeling like a victim and blaming our spouses and blaming our circumstances. It is so easy because that's our comfortable zone. That's where we're fine. We're really miserable, but we're comfortable because we're not doing any of the inner work or taking action and progressing. We're just comfortable. So in order to avoid going back to the waiting room, the waiting place, we need to have solutions set in place. We need to have strategies that will help us take action. I had to talk to my boss and say, hey, can you reallocate me to a different state? I had to talk to my family and ask for support because I need babysitting. Can you help me? I had to reach out. What are the strategies? What are the things? Do you need to go back to school? Who do you need to talk to so you can go back to school? Write down, make a list of all the strategies that will help you overcome those obstacles, that will help you jump over the hurdles or go around the hurdles so you don't get stuck or go backwards next time you're moving forward and you're confronted with a shut door or a hurdle, right? And all I keep thinking is like when you're running and doing cross country and you have those hurdles and you just, instead of stopping, dead stop in front of one or just turning around saying, never mind, I'm not doing this. Find solutions right now. So then you know the answer to each one. Okay. So if you leave, what will you have to do? What are the steps? And what I love to do is make sure that you write this down when you make the list. When you're committed to making this decision, put it on your calendar in order of importance. Okay, from 1 to 10, which one needs to be done? And then put it on your calendar. How long will it take you to call someone, to apply for jobs, to apply to go back to school, to apply for a new place? How long will it take you? Set up the time and then put it on your calendar. It is so easy. Or set a reminder to help you stay on track, moving forward and committed to the relationship or to yourself. Okay. Then next, I want you to think about when you think about making this decision, what result will it create for you? Will this be an empowering decision? Will this generate and give you more power in your life and in your relationship? Or better yet, how is this decision aligned with who you are and your purpose? For me, the first time, and I love this because this decision, I made it twice. So I can relate with you guys. So for me, the first time leaving the marriage, and for clients that have to leave a relationship, what will it result when you do? If it's a toxic relationship, most of my clients, the result is peace, is empowerment, is freedom. Some of them are so tied up in this relationship, and no matter how much they work on it, no matter how much time and effort they put, nothing is happening, nothing is changing. So for them leaving the relationship, it'll result in them having so much more free mental, emotional, and actual physical time for themselves, for their children. So what will it create in your life if you decide to stay or if you decide to leave? When I decided to stay or go back to my ex-husband, what will that create for me? It was going to create happier children because they were going to have a home with a mom and a dad that loved each other and they were going to have a home where it was healthier and they had a bigger support system. For me, that's what it meant to make that decision. Next, I'm going to ask you, what do you need to commit to doing this? What do you need to do to commit to doing this? What are the actions that you need to do if you choose to leave your spouse? If you choose to leave this relationship, what are the steps you need to take? If it's a relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend, well, that might mean talking to them, sitting down. Okay, so that might mean